energy. And I went home and I was preparing for a laws of attraction workshop. Just look what I'm sharing with all of you today. And I am not joking you. That night, I was teaching a workshop. The very night of that calling it forth, I was calling it in. I was at that workshop, and Ron Jones comes walking into the gallery. He's sitting in the audience. He's listening to what I have to say, and afterwards asked me out, which I was thinking was just to talk to me as a fellow artist, because we're both artists. And I was just kind of like, oh, that's nice. We'll go get some dinner. And as I was sitting there, I realized this is a date. Like, this guy is definitely wanting to take me on a date. And then I started to really observe, what's this about? That night, as he was telling me a story, he opens up to me and says, you know what, Tanya? I feel like for the first time, I really see you. And then I was like, oh, crap. Like, here we go. And the rest is history. We have been together ever since. He asked me to marry him 9 days later. This was a woman who said I would never get married again. And so it's funny, we will promise these things like, I will never go through that. And what I really wanted was, I never wanted to be hurt, and I never wanted to be enslaved or controlled again. I never wanted a man to feel he owned me and could take my power. And I learned a lot from that marriage. I learned a lot from that part of my life. I have learned a lot from those who've enslaved me, and I send them the greatest honor because they woke this warrior up. And thank you, because I am doing my soul mission now, and you were a great part of that mission. You're a great part of what put me where I am today. So if we all can look at these things, we can see that it doesn't have to take a long time to manifest something. I manifested my twin flame in less than 24 hours. He showed up. Now, I'm not going to say it's all going to happen that fast, but what is amazing is the more you focus on that alignment, you don't worry about the details, and you thank Spirit for working all the details out. You just sit back and you listen and feel the awareness of your next aligned action. If you feel an inspiration to go and sign up for that workshop, you do it. If you feel an inspiration to go check in on how much houses are to rent for your healing retreat, you do it, which I just was doing. And you want to honor that. So if I sit back and I'm like, I want to lead healing retreats, that would be so much fun, but I'm afraid to take action because what if it doesn't work out? What if no one comes? All the fear stuff that a lot of us do, it is normal to have fear. It is normal to feel worried and nervous about a new dream because it's new. You've never gone there before. But what I encourage you to do is honor that feeling and then go into your meditation and feel that alignment with doing that thing that you want to do. Feel it so strongly that when you come out of that meditation, when you get an intuition to go take action, go do it right away. Go and just call and ask questions about houses for rent. That's what I do. And you feel amazing. Every time you do that, you feel more and more empowered and you feel more and more capable, and you'll realize how powerful you really all are. And we can manifest anything. I promise you that. It is not, there are no limitations here. So I'm going to pause. Is there anybody got any feedback or questions, comments, stories?
No questions. Leslie's added, she said, I did not feel this way all my life. She was saying that she knows she was worthy.
Yes.
And then
did she often feel unworthy?
I don't know, Leslie, you can answer this. And then Jeff
let us know.
Jeff is commenting on this. Don't allow anybody to take this feeling away from you.
Indeed.
And I just,
thank you, Jeff.
I said that I agree with Jeff, but I don't think that she will ever let anybody take it away.
Yes. And what he's saying, it's like for all of you, don't allow anyone to take your power. Do not give it to anyone. I'm not joking.
Right.
We have all been so taught to submit power. It's like so almost normal in society to do this. It is not aligned. And the more we do it every little day, every single day, we each get tested with this in our own way. So Amnon may get tested in his own way. Tomorrow, something may come in to challenge him choosing his own power. I can get tested with it today. Leslie could get tested with it. Jeff gets tested with it. All of us will. But I promise you that as you stand firmly in your power, you do not have to apologize or submit to anyone who thinks that they need to take your power or control you, to control your freedom, your expression, your creativity. No, stop giving it away. No one can take your power unless you give it to them. I've learned this, and I had to really honor and forgive myself for things in my life when I realized in my woundedness, in my own coma, I was like a sleepwalker, and I was taught to go into a coma because very early in life, hey, we don't really like that shine. Let's dim that a little. And that happened a lot until finally you start conforming to the system. You conform to becoming numb and robotic and doing what they think you should do and not even question what you feel is truthful or what is in alignment. This is so important for us. I feel like what is happening planetary with archangels coming in and with when Archangel Ariel comes in and Michael and all the angelic beings I connect with, and galactic ones that are coming in to support Earth and humanity's awakening. This is what they're here to help us with. Humanity has been enslaved for a long time. We have bought into the system. We've been a part of the system. We've enabled the system. And in order to dismantle it, we each have to take our power back. We each have to stop participating in misalignment. We have to stop catering and cowering and bowing down to those who are out of alignment. And you don't really need to be taught about how to know it. You feel it. In a second, you can feel someone trying to take your power, someone trying to take your voice, someone trying to shame you into submission. You know it. You feel it. And it's important that we start to wake up to how that feels so that we claim that power back. This is how we're going to be the most powerful creators. Every one of you listening are powerful creators. You do not have to go to someone's workshop and get the answers from them. You don't have to go to a psychic. You don't have to go to your priest. You don't have to go to anyone to ask them for your guidance and your answers. You need to get quiet and you need to get internally connected, connecting yourself to source. When we give our power away, the metaphor I get is when someone gives their power away. And a lot of times when we're in rescue mode, we want to go help people. We're like, oh, I really like this guy, but he doesn't really treat me with respect, but he seems like such a nice guy, and I really want to help him. So I'm going to take off my oxygen mask, and I'm going to give it to him because I care about him. Well, I start to suffocate. Well, I start to lose my alignment, and he just takes off with my oxygen mask. And we have to stop this. This is not self-love. This is not empowered love. We have to keep that oxygen mask on at all times, keep in our alignment. And what we're here to do is not rescue and give our mask away. We're here to shine the light on others and say, hey, you need to hook up your mask, man. You need to get it back on. And so that is what humanity is needing right now. We're each needing to be redirected to get our own connection with our own source. We need to get our mask hooked back on. We need to get our alignment back. If that means you go on walks in nature, which I highly encourage every day to have nature time, if that helps you connect, you do it and you honor that and you go and you listen. And when you know what to say, you say it. If it's for you just being quiet in meditation, you do that. And there's times when we're in meditation just to be quiet and be receptive and listen so that then we know what aligned action to take. Practice that. Practice being good listeners. The gifts and the magic I have are truly from being a great listener. I am an amazing listener, and that's about it. That's really the power. What I do with that listening helps so many, and it helps myself as well. So it's not about thinking you got to go and become a magician and you got to learn all these tricks. It's really about being quiet, shutting down that ego chatter, and being still and receptive and listening. And you will know exactly what to say, exactly what to do, exactly what to focus on moment by moment when you become more receptive and you become more quiet and still. So any other information or feedback, guys?
Yeah, Leslie is saying to your question, says, there are always people who try to make you feel worthless. And
Indeed.
Yes, I did feel this way, but it is behind me now.
Awesome. I'm so glad. And that the fact it's behind you means that you powerfully created that experience and you released that. And that I give you honor for that, because that takes a lot of courage to walk in new directions and not participate in that belief any longer. It takes a lot of strength. So good job, Leslie.
So I was going to ask you, so somebody who's listening now or later and feels kind of maybe worthless or maybe not as worthy, what are little things that they can do right away to get them on the way to feel worthy?
To get their mask back on?
Yeah.
Well, basically, I would say the first thing you need to do is you need to start being still, and you need to go into meditation, and you need to feel what you need to feel. Because a lot of times when there's all this emotional stuff that we've pushed down, we become numb. And that's very common. We become so numb, it's like we don't want to feel anything. And it takes a lot of courage to do this, but it's worth it, because that stuff that you need to feel, it's old stuff. It's already done. The energies of the past. But these energies need to be addressed. They need to be felt. They need to be honored so that you can learn from them, and then you can release it and you can move forward. You can move higher in vibration. I kind of refer to it as, if I want to fly, if I want to go higher in vibration and I want to fly, but I have a big old backpack of bricks on my back of all the heaviness of my past that I'm dragging around every day, energetically, this is going to be quite exhausting, and it's going to pretty much be impossible for me to fly. I'm going to try, but it's like dragging me down. So the first thing that we need to do, if you just visualize the backpack, is what? We need to figure out what the heck that backpack is, and we need to shake it off, and we need to let it go, because it's not us. And once we drop all that energetic, vibrational heaviness, we release it. Now, without even trying, we start floating. We start to soar, because we've released all that heaviness. So I'd say that's the first thing that I would encourage. If you feel like you're afraid and you're struggling to look into that stuff, which it can happen. There can be a lot of us that I've had clients that suppress stuff. They don't even remember their childhoods because it was so dark. They just blocked it out. I would encourage you to go and seek a healer, an aligned healer, and I would encourage you to meditate before you go into action and ask your angels to please guide you to the most aligned healer and helper who can help you clear that, help you move forward. You want to come from a place of love when you ask, rather than when you're in fear and desperation, because sometimes when we're in fear and desperation, we will go to exactly that energy for guidance. So I encourage you to really ask from a vibration of love, to be guided and to be led, and then honor that knowing and go take action and invest in that healing, invest in that clearing, because that's going to help you move forward. The next step, daily meditation. I would start that immediately after the show. If I were each of you, I would take a little bit of time to be still and quiet. 10, 15 minutes. Doesn't have to be this huge commitment. It's just being consistent every day. If you're feeling really tense, you're feeling anxiety, that your mask is off. So we can learn to feel our energy is a great way of teaching us if we're in alignment or not. If I'm feeling anxious and nervous and kind of panicky, I have a pinch in my oxygen tank, or I've actually dismantled my mask in some way. So kind of try to get this visual of the oxygen mask. You want to get that mask back on. I'm breathing again. Source energy is flowing. That is what's going to happen when you enter meditation. When you go into stillness and you release all the heaviness, all the resistance, all the fear, just that one act of releasing resistance is profoundly powerful vibrationally for you. And this is when we can just start, maybe the beginning meditations, we're not doing anything, we're just breathing and we're releasing tension from our body. Then we can start to play with conscious creation meditation is what I call it, where I consciously go into my meditation space to create. So this is where I close my eyes and I visualize and I feel emotionally how amazing it's going to feel to have that soulmate, how amazing it's going to be in that new car that I want to drive, or how amazing it's going to feel to have the house of my dreams where I have a healing room and a yoga studio, and which I manifested that in a couple days. I just visualized it, wrote in my journal to my angels exactly what I wanted. Thank you for taking care of the details. Shut the journal. It was like I ordered pizza. I was not concerned. I'm like, it's on its way. 2 days later, I'm standing in this house that I now live in, that I now lead amazing workshops and healings and do all this magic here. And I honestly give myself so much credit for practicing that meditation time, and my angels so much credit, and all the earth angels so much credit who helped that dream come true. So it's not about any kind of worth or deservability or when the time is right as far as can I go and do this now. If you desire